Hello plant parents, welcome back to My Plant My Baby page, and today I'll talk one of the most interesting topics and one of the most keen things which you want to know about. I'll talk about 5 low maintenance plants which you should have at home, and I think every new plant parent should know this. Before I talk about more, just go to our My Plant My Baby page and subscribe there, and also hit the bell button so you keep getting these more updates like these. Here I have 5 low indoor maintenance plants which every home should have. I think if you are a new plant parent or post-COVID you have realized that gardening is something which makes you happy, or if you are definitely a mother who knows that plants can make your home more beautiful, I think these are the first 5 plants you should have at home to begin your journey as a plant parent. Let's talk about all of them, and the first in the list is the Aglaonema. Right. This is one of the Aglaonema's plants, and there are multiple varieties around it, but a red Aglaonema is a must-have for any interiors of any styles. So these bright red leaves bring charm, stress-free things, reduces your anxiety, and are one of the most low maintenance plants around the globe. The only things you have to take care about is the watering, and we have also talked about it in the plant care section, which you can know about it. But as a plant, it's I think one of the sturdiest varieties which God has made. It survives the low lights. It can take the abuse if you don't water it much or you do abrupt watering. It does good if you put it in a low light. So when I say a low light, it can survive in a 500, 600 lux also. Ideally, it require 1000 lux, which I think most of our houses or near the window spaces have. So they can do really well in the low lights also, as compared to outdoor plants which survive into 10 to 15,000 lux. So an Aglaonema is a must-have for you. Just always make sure that you choose a good quality and a bushy plant, because if you don't have a bushy plant, you will see that your plant dies and you will feel that they are not doing good. But if your plant is a healthy baby and it comes to your homes, something like this, you will see that they will thrive more and grow very well. Doesn't require a lot of maintenance in terms of watering or in terms of taking care in terms of light also. So that's my first choice always. I use Aglaonemas as my first thing. Second, and the most hardy babies of this whole world is the ZZ plant. It's called Zamioculcas basically, and commonly known as a ZZ plant. I have a small story about it actually. So I gave this to my friend when we first introduced this across, and there was a new variety of ZZ which we launched, and he actually kept it in one of his guest houses which he was rarely visiting. And he actually went there after 1.5 months and there was nobody around, and still this plant was doing good. So for 1.5 months, nobody watered it. There was very little light to be given, and still the plant survived. And that's what the beauty of this plant is. It's one of the most hardy plants across. Does very good indoors. In case you give very low light, the only thing which will happen is you will start seeing a more light green leaves coming out of it. But if you keep a light of a lux of 1000 levels, 1000 lux, it will do very good, which is ideally an indoor bright light area. Our rooms are actually somewhere around 300 to 500 lux, but if you take it towards the window side, they go towards 1000 to 2000 lux also. So window side area does very good for them. In case you're not able to find a window side area and you want to keep it on your center table or your TV cabinet or a pair of this, I think it's a great choice to be. In terms of the watering, as I said again, it has these small bulbs below, so which sort of saves water for the plant. So, and that's the reason this plant actually sustained 1.5 months when this was not being watered in one of the cases I saw. Don't do that. It's very rare to happen around. Ideally, you should water it once a week or maybe every 10 days, depending on where you are keeping it. I have specially done a plant care section only for ZZ, and you can check out in our plant care playlist page where I've talked about actually all of them in terms of how you can take care of it. But in terms of the maintenance, that's the least it's required. Very little watering, light-wise, no problems. You can keep it anywhere indoors. I've been taking care and putting it in different places, which even has lux of 250 also. It sustained well. This is bug resistance. The only thing which it actually dies off with is overwatering. Right, so you will see them getting too rot because they will drink up too much of water, because the bulbs below will keep sucking in water. That's what they're made for. So and then they burst, and once they burst, they rot, and so does the leaves also. Multiplies very fast, very good, doesn't require, as I said again, the bugs and the fungus basically doesn't hit it so hard, so does very good for years. I haven't seen plants dying, especially the ZZ, or the complaints coming in even from some of the bad plant parents or the new plant parents also. So that's my second choice. My third choice is my very obvious bamboo. And I think every house has it, and you guys been knowing all about it. But just to also give you a brief, this comes from Southeast Asia's origin is from there. It's said to bring in prosperity and money into the house, and that's why the name of a lucky bamboo also. It's basically a Dracaena variety, but also known as a lucky bamboo. As again I said, I've done a video about it in one of the plant cares category in a playlist. You can watch there. But I think I don't have to talk about anything because it doesn't have any care. Just make sure that you keep watering it or keep the level up of the water in the planter which you have, and rest it keeps doing good. But yes, on some care I should talk about is at least on a once a month you should wash it, because it get dust. So if you even do dusting for yourself, or even for your homes, you can do it for this also. So once a month, even if you are are able to dip it inside a good watering bath and remove the dust, it will do good. I mean, so I have seen a lot of bamboos being abused. If it's a good quality one and it has a very strong roots, look at the roots here, so beautiful roots coming in. Now actually these roots needs cutting, it's been so long, but you don't require it to be done initially. This will just watering is something which is required for you. You keep changing every 10-15 days. That's the only thing which is required, and that's why it's a low maintenance. I have seen it thriving also in almost zero light, by the way. But yes, we always recommend that you should keep it at 500 to 1000 lux at least, so that it thrives well there. If it's lesser, the leaves will start turning a bit more light green. Because the photosynthesis is not happening. But otherwise, a very hardy plant, one of the best. I think every house has, I have it, and I haven't seen any house of an old plant parent who doesn't have a bamboo. It does very good for your center tables, for your office desk, where you have some stationery or you have papers or books around there. You don't want to spill whenever you're watering, so this plant can go there because you don't have to water it every now and then. Only thing you have to see is that these roots are always submerged in water. But if you miss that, is when your plant will start dying in. Otherwise, very low maintenance plant, my third and my best choice here. My fourth plant, which I sort of always recommend to our clients, is the money plants or a Scindapsus. Again, a very easy peasy going plant, very little maintenance, very hardy. In terms of watering, sometimes you don't water it also, it sustains. Obviously very abrupt watering, it is not able to take it. But even if it's 1 or 2 times you miss watering, it will still do very good, it will sustain. And it shows very nicely, it will start drooling down in case it requires water, so you can just water it then. As I said, I have talked about all the plant care into the plant care playlist, and especially of the Scindapsus, I've talked about it also. Very good variety, it does propagate very easily. The only problem you might see or face it in this low maintenance is not the light but over watering. They will die if the water will start clotting here, and that's one of the problems around skin abscesses, that they don't like more water. So overwatering, or parents who are afraid their plant is not doing good, they keep watering it, is when this should happen. And in case you want to avoid overwatering, just watch our video on My Plant My Baby page, where we'll be talking about the skin abscesses care. It comes in multiple colors and shapes. You can use multiple ways in terms of, it's a green, it's a variegated, it's a silver variety. So there are multiple varieties also of skin abscesses which are there available. A common green variety is something which all of us have seen, but this variety also does good. All three actually are similar family, so they all can be a part of your first 5 low maintenance plants which you can have at home. And but I specifically like the white variegated one because the color is so beautiful. So that's our part from the 4th plant. And the 5th plant is I think quite a lot of people know about it. This is a palm variety. This is actually a Chamindora palm basically. It's not an Erica palm, so it's a dwarf variety. It grows very slowly, and this is almost a 1.5-year plant that it has come to this height. But look at the foliage, look at it. It will see, even if you abuse it, you will see some tips going here and there, but unless you're just watering it and kept at one place, I think there's nothing else it requires. Food wise also, it's very sturdy. You don't have to take care of it every 3-4 months. Once a year or 6-8 months is something you should look at it, and if you're seeing those symptoms about it. But otherwise, indoor wise, they do very good. Low maintenance, yes. So all of them actually, if you're going out, so I went out for a week there, and all 5 actually are doing very good till now, and these are all have not been watered almost, actually not 7 days, actually 9 days, when they were not given any care. Nobody was at home, and they all survived and sustained really well. It's just that when I went, I made sure that everybody had water enough of it, and bamboo had till the rim, so that when I came, they were doing good. I mean, in summers I don't know, but then in the winters and spring and autumn, they will do really good. So these are our 5 most low maintenance indoor plants you should have at home. And if you want to be a new plant parent, or if you want to start gardening as a hobby, this is the first thing I recommend. Start with any 5 of them. It's easily available anywhere at garden centers or at Nurturing Green. Make sure that you always buy a high quality plants, because when you buy a low quality ones, there are chances of them going down is higher. So just avoid that. Otherwise, you will see that if the quality is good and they've been grown well, as healthy as you are seeing here, you will not find any problem, and you will have a great experience becoming a plant parent and taking that hobby from there to the next steps. So thank you so much for watching My Plant My Baby. That's from our side for today on the top 5 low maintenance plants at home. See you. Bye-bye. Do subscribe to our channel, My Plant My Baby, on YouTube.